You know those times when you come across looking ugly, and then you try to explain your comments, but you dig yourself an even deeper hole? Yeah? Well, let's review the Fox News and the week she has had thus far. Here she was on Wednesday, making a comment so questionable, it drew applause from the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
Because in some parts of the country, it does seem like the America that we know and love doesn't exist anymore. Massive demographic changes have been foisted upon the American people. And they're changes that none of us ever voted for, and most of us don't like. From Virginia to California, we see stark examples of how radically, in some ways, the country has changed. Now, much of this is related to both illegal and, in some cases, legal immigration that, of course, progressives love.
Did you hear what she said there? She said illegal and legal immigration. So when she tries to clean this up and say this is all about law and order, how could it possibly be about law and order if you're going after legal immigration? At worst, these are the words of a white supremacist. At best, it's playing on anxiety of a part of our culture. And I ask the question, why? KKK icon David Duke, he loved what he heard so much, he got out there and tweeted about it in a now deleted post. But do not worry, Laura Ingraham is a national TV celebrity, so she has had plenty of chances to explain that she is definitely not a racist. She waited a full 24 hours and said this.
The purpose of last night's angle was to point out that the rule of law, meaning secure borders, is something that used to bind our country together. And despite what some may be contending, I made explicitly clear that my commentary had nothing to do with race or ethnicity.
Ma'am, you made explicitly clear when you said illegal and legal. All an innocent misunderstanding is that what we're supposed to take this as, but just in case, I invite you to take a very good look at the words used. Massive demographic changes have been foisted on the American people, and they are changes that none of us ever voted for, and most of us don't like. We know exactly what demographics refer to because the Census Bureau spells it out for us: the age, sex, and racial composition of a population. So if Ms. Ingraham has no problem with racial changes in demographics, is she up in arms that there are too many old people, too many young people, too many men, too many women? It gets extra fishy when you scroll through some of Ingram's hateful, offensive statements over the years.
By the way, the jails are what, 27% illegal immigrants? Why don't we ship them back home and say, you come again, you'll be shot crossing the border? The Christians who we can verifiably say are Christians who are in the threat of being slaughtered, I'm happy to bring in some of them. I think most people would. But all these other people, they got to stay in the Middle East.
And the thing about the Mexicans and you know, murders and rapists.
Oh, right. Well, they have come here. They have come here to murder and rape our people. We know that.
Now, the price they have to pay for multiculturalism is the risk that you're walking on the sidewalk and a man will, or a woman will purposely mow you down, and then while you're maybe finishing your cappuccino in a cafe or having a drink, someone will put a knife to your throat and slit it with the attempt perhaps to behead you. Must they run their mouths like that? You're great players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
I believe it was you, Laura Ingraham, who said shut up and dribble. And I can only speak for myself, but I want to thank LeBron James for the school he opened last week, for the commitment to philanthropy he's made over the years, and all of those kids that he's now putting into his new school, and the many who he has already granted scholarships to in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. So thank you, Mr. James.